Superpowers plugin for Claude Code is getting a lot of hype right now. But does it actually make a difference? In this video, I'm going to build the same Shopify app twice. Once with Superpowers and once with just stock Claude Code. And let's see if the output actually improves. I'll give you an honest review of what Superpowers can do and what it can't. The easiest way to install Superpowers is to use the Claude Code plugin marketplace. If you go to the Superpowers GitHub repository, it gives you the two commands you have to run to get that working. You run these two inside Claude Code and then do a restart. And if the install was correct, under skills, you should now see 14 plugin skills, all from Superpowers. When you do the install, you have the option to do it globally or just on the specific project you're working on. I start just installing these on the project just to get yourself comfortable with the workflow, and then you can pick and choose which ones are actually working for you. All right, so before we put in our first prompt, we want to use the slash command using Superpowers. And what that's going to do is call the use Superpowers skill. And now it says I've loaded the skills framework. I'm ready to help you with your project. And the reason you want to run that skill manually at the start is because what this skill does is basically steers the model towards always using the Superpower skill system. It gives it lists of red flags, thoughts that would actually stop what they're doing and go back to the skill system. For example, I need more context first of being the thought. The reality is skill check becomes before clarifying questions. This works okay for now, but I'd say once you get your workflow dialed in, you might want to do something like this in your CloudMD file. So then you don't have to worry at all about doing this kind of skill steering every single time. Let's just start building my Shopify app. What I'm going to tell it is I've built a base Shopify app installed in this folder using the Shopify CLI to initiate it. Then I'm going to tell it I want to build an app that audits a merchant's product catalog for AI readiness. And then each product compare what's in the store against what the AI shopping agents can see via the Shopify catalog API. This is still at a pretty high level, which is why the first skill is so important, brainstorming. This is the one I actually like the most out of Superpowers, is this brainstorming skill. It's already giving a glimpse of why it's so good, because you can see here the second checkbox is propose 2 to 3 different approaches, and then present a design and get approval. And to get to those different approaches, it asks a bunch of questions right at the start. I find these questions are really good and well thought out. And I find the questions often get me thinking about different ideas. Like in this case, it's asking how I want to compare against competing products. Do I want to do it by same category top products, or do I do it more based on the title of the product? Those guys are going to say both approaches combined. After that brainstorming skill, I wanted to come back with a number of different approaches. So it's done that here. It's given me a recommended one and then 2 other options. I really like this because if you just, ask Claude to give you one option, what it recommends, sometimes you don't really think about the different alternatives and different ways a solution like this could be architected. I find all this extra overhead from the brainstorming skill really helps. And the final part of the brainstorming skill is it passes it over to the writing plan skill. We can see that here, that seamless transition is loading the skill for Superpowers writing plans. What it's doing now is writing the implementation plan. So we have the design, now it's writing the implementation plan. Now it's done putting together both my design document and my implementation plan. And this is the implementation plan I came up with, and it starts really well. It has the goal, some architecture details, the tech stack, and even links to the design document so you can go back and forth between what the design was and then what the implementation plan is. And then it starts breaking down to tasks. Like task 1, it's all about the data model and Prisma schema and migrations. This part looks all good. In task 2, we start to get into test-driven development. What you understand about the Superpowers framework is it really relies heavily on test-driven development. What that means is in the implementation plan, you have to write your tests first before you actually write the code. And the promise is that writing the test first will force you to think through the requirements, or force the AI to think through the requirements before doing the implementation. And you'll see inside all the skills for Superpowers, it talks a lot about the red-green refactor loop. That's supposed to keep the AI disciplined. And so it goes through in quite a lot of detail here, all the tests it wants to write first. We'll see how this works, but my biggest issue, I think, with this kind of approach using AI is that AI tends to be really good at teaching to the test. When you hand an LLM a failing test and say, make this pass, it's going to produce the minimum hacky solution that satisfies that test rather than a well-architected one. So the potential here with giving all these tests like this, it just goes on and on. So you end up with a brittle, maybe overfitted code that passes all these tests, but maybe isn't actually optimal to what you want. But let's just see how it actually works. And when it comes to the implementation, Superpowers gives you 2 methods. You can use the sub-agent driven method. This is basically a serial, more conversational loop. You also do a parallel session. This is where you actually open up separate Claude Code instances and then have them run in parallel, kind of like a background job. So the second option is more autonomous, less handholding. So I'd say if you're doing a new application like I am here or exploratory work, I would go with option 1 and just do the sub-agent driven. Now what's going to do for all those tasks we had in our implementation plan, launch separate subagents for each of them. The first thing it's going to do is call that skill the subagent driven development skill to set up the task list and to start dispatching. The Claude Code has finished the implementation. That took about 25 minutes, which will be longer than if you just ran Claude Code normally. Having superpowers enabled definitely adds some overhead. So let's dissect what it did and what that overhead was and if it was worth it. And so what it did was take the 7 tasks that we had defined in the implementation plan, and then for each of those, it launched a subagent. And then the subagent skill read these other skills, such as the code quality reviewer prompt skill. It says task 1 implemented. Let me run the spec review. This is another superpower skill for reviewing the specification. What it's basically doing here is just saying what was requested and then what implementation actually built, and then asking for a report if it's compliant or not. This is an example of something that's added overhead on top of what Claude would normally just do. In this case, it appears like everything matches. So what it implemented matches the plan. And then at the end here, it says everything matches the specification exactly, which kind of begs the question, was this actually worth it? In this case, I don't think it was. It was just a waste of extra tokens. The other extra bit of overhead that superpowers will add is for every task when it's completed, it asks for a code quality review. So for this first one, it says it's just a schema definition. There's no logic to review, so it's marking this as complete. But if we look at task 3, it says now dispatching code quality review. And there's a lot of code in this particular task. So it's good that's calling this code reviewer skill in this case. And what that skill basically does is it asks it to review all the code that's generated as part of this particular task and then give a report on the implementation. We see that here with our code quality assessment. And it says what was done well, issues identified, and then suggestions are nice to have. And I've actually been quite impressed with the results of this code reviewer skill, especially the issues identified. Like for example, here it says the score description does not check for the text length greater than 50 before penalizing for missing structure. And then details exactly what the issue is. So in this case, that extra overhead of doing that review is definitely worth it. So that's one skill I really like. And then at the very end, when all 7 tasks are complete and all the tasks are done, it comes back to the main conversation and calls the superpowers verification before completion skill. And what that does is just one more time go through the TypeScript compilation, run all the tests, make sure they pass, because we're doing test-driven development, so all those tests should now pass. It checks all files exist that reference in the code, and it verifies against the requirements document and the implementation plan one more time. I think you can start to get the picture. I'd say Superpower's biggest thing it adds on top of Claude Code is just extra double checking of everything. Now the question really is, was all that double checking actually worth it? So let's see the application it built. If I load my app in the Shopify admin console, it comes up right away. So that's a good start. Not the most interesting landing page in the world, but let's just see what we do if we say scan my catalog. And now what it should be doing is getting all the products in my catalog and seeing how they rank for searchability from an AI agent. It was given an overall score of 37 out of 100. Scanned all the products. I can sort it here from the worst performing one first. I did the worst or going best first. Okay, well, it seems to work. And the worst performing product is the minimal snowboard, which isn't surprising because this is the one with the least amount of data in it. But what I'm really interested in is it used the catalog API, which is a new API that can search across all Shopify stores and find products that like an AI agent would find. It looks like that part's worked. It's done that searching and compared it. So it's found different snowboards. The problem is it's not really doing the job I wanted to do. It's not comparing that listing to my listing. So this competitor benchmarking thing is a big fail. So maybe my requirements weren't clear enough, but I would have thought all that brainstorming would have got to the heart of what I was trying to get out of this. I was trying to get a comparison where you can see, okay, these are the products that are trending. The catalog API can find. What could I do as a merchant to make my product appear on the first page of the agent search, for example? But at the very least, it did do a decent job of putting together a UI and a first kind of concept. We can definitely iterate from here, but still a lot of work to do. That gives you a really good sense of what superpowers added to the workflow and then what the end result was. My big question I have out of this is, what if I just did the same thing using just the built-in planning mode in Claude Code with Opus 4.6, using the same prompts, the same base project, Just see what it comes up with. I'm gonna go do that now and come back with the results. So the app version with just using stock Claude Code finished in about 10 minutes, which is about a third of the time it took when we're using Superpowers. The landing page looks actually very similar to the other one we did. The only difference is an extra section here about what gets checked. They scan catalog. I mean, it works first time, which is good as well. The scoring, the layout is slightly different, but generally it's giving us the same information as before. If we expand one of these reports, it's going to show us kind of similar information. The one I'm really interested in is the comparison with other vendors. So it gives us the top result, the Arbor Draft Snowboard, with some pricing and features, but it doesn't give us a link to that product and doesn't really go into much detail about why this one's ranking higher. So similar to what we got with Superpowers, very similar application. Which brings up the question, is Superpowers really worth it to install on Claude Code and use it to build your projects? And in my opinion, I think some of the skills are useful. I think some of them go a little bit overboard and aren't really necessary. The ones I really liked were the code reviewer skill and the brainstorming skill. I think what I'm going to do is maybe just take those two and work with them in my projects. I'm not going to worry about all the other ones. I think the bigger question, are these big overarching methodology frameworks worth it? Like I'm talking about not just Superpowers, but also SpecKit, BMAD, other things like that. I think the answer is yes, but it's getting less and less every day. What I mean by that is with every new release of the models and new release of the tooling, like Claude Code and Claude Model in this case, it gets better at the things that these methodologies are trying to enforce. Like for example, if I did the same test with Sonnet 4 6 months ago, I'm sure Superpowers would have made a much better product. But today, Opus 4.6 and the latest version of Claude Code have closed that gap a lot. Much better planning mode, much better checking, like double checking just natively inside Claude Code. I think what you're going to see is these frameworks are a little bit overhyped, and over time they'll get less and less relevant. I actually think the more important thing is getting the up-to-date documentation and skills for the technologies you're using in your project in the context of the conversation. And if you want more ideas on how to do that, watch this video next. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you in the next one.